In some villages, they say a mother's prayer can move mountains. But in one small African town, a mother was asked to do something far greater. She was asked to choose. In a rural East African village of beautiful hills and acacia trees was Linda, a loving mother with her only son, Kito. Kito was a bright young boy of 7, with a bright smile, but a thin body and weak lungs. Every season, the coughing got worse. Every hospital visit ended the same way. We've done all we can. The doctors in the city said he needed a rare treatment, expensive, and almost impossible to find locally. Linda sold everything, her goats, sewing machine, and even her wedding necklace. But still, not enough. But mothers do not stop searching. One evening, an old herbal woman visiting from a distant village overheard Linda crying outside her hut. She said quietly, "There is a plant that grows only near Lake Nyasa. It blooms once every 7 years. It might restore your son." Linda didn't hesitate. She left the next morning. After days of travel, long bus rides, walking barefoot stretches, and even sleeping in churches, but always praying constantly, she finally, near the lakeshore, found it. A small blue flower growing between stones. She wept, for she had found her miracle. As she prepared to leave, she heard coughing. Not far from her sat another mother, whose child looked worse than Kito and barely breathing. The woman explained they had traveled even farther, but they had arrived too late. There was only one bloom, only enough for one child. A silence crept in as the wind moved across the water. Linda clutched the flower tightly and imagined Kito's small hands, his weak smile, and his voice calling her Mama, and him being well again. Then she looked at the other child, smaller and fading. The mother whispered, "I have no more strength left." Linda's hands trembled. Tears fell onto the flower petals, for she could relate to her fellow woman's pain and misery. She walked forward slowly and placed the plant into the other mother's hands. She couldn't speak. She just nodded and walked away, sad and empty-handed. She returned home days later. Exhausted and broken, she entered her hut quietly, preparing herself to say goodbye. But instead, she heard laughter, clear and strong. Kito ran toward her, breathing easily. No cough or weakness. The village nurse couldn't explain what happened either. Kito's fever broke suddenly. His lungs cleared overnight, with no medicine and no explanation. Kito grew strong, and Linda never spoke of the flower again. But whenever someone asked how her son was healed, she would simply say, "A mother's love heals and travels farther than any medicine." The greatest miracle was not the flower. It was a mother willing to lose everything. True love does not calculate loss. It gives, even when it hurts. Thank you for watching. Follow and subscribe for more powerful stories.